Thanks, Jackie. And before I start, I guess I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I'd like to thank the Slow Money organization. I don't think my mom was a part of selecting me. I think it was the rest of the group. And so I appreciate the rest of the group having faith in me. And, I think we ought to give them a big round of applause for putting this together tonight. Like I said, my name is Scotty Thellman, or Scott Thellman is the business name, so keep that in mind. And I'm the owner of Juniper Farms. So tonight we're going to be pitching a hay grove, and let's see if it changes. So once again, owner of Juniper Farms, a first-generation farm. I came from a family of doctors and ministers and now county commissioners, and so we did not come from farming. I think 3 generations removed. I remember when I bought my first square baler in 9th grade after working on a sweet corn farm and being raised by cattlemen that we leased the land to, and kind of falling in love in agriculture. My dad going, "You don't know the difference between a hammer and a socket wrench. Like, how are you gonna, do this?" And sure enough, here I am. But anyway, so built up a hay business when I was in high school. We're still doing that today, but when I went off to Iowa State, I had a neighbor convince me to buy a high tunnel, or to apply for an NRCS grant for a high tunnel. So I did that, built a high tunnel. I never thought I'd be a vegetable farmer. That shit was good. But here we are today. So, slowly we went from that first high tunnel and thinking about things by the bunch, to then thinking about things by the case, and then by the pallet, and now by the truckload. And so, as we think about things at truckloads, we think about expansion. And I guess some of my big interests are in sustainable growing systems, season extension, post-harvest handling, and then distribution of local and regional foods. We grow for a lot of growers in the area on top of what we do. So just a little backstory. So talking about how I didn't know how to grow vegetables, or how I wanted to grow vegetables. This is our first high tunnel. There's about 16 things in there. We grew sweet corn. Who grows sweet corn in a high tunnel? First of all, I'll tell you, it does not work. So don't do it. But we had so many different things in there that we didn't know what the heck to do with them. We didn't have enough product to sell or anything like that. So, going from there to the 60 acres we do now of organic product has been a big change. We really grow based on the economics of growing. So some of the values we have are, feeding our region fresh and local food, investing in our community, spending time with kids in our community, teaching them about agriculture, growing sustainably so that the generations that precede me can make a living off of the soil, and providing opportunities for that next generation. All of our employees, for the most part, are first-generation farmers. Or like to call themselves that. Whether or not they stick out there for more than 2 weeks, that's another story. But they are all first-generation farmers, and one of the things I love is we have hired employees who have then gone on to start their own businesses, and so we're creating competition. And as much as you wouldn't want to hear that in some businesses, we love it in ours because there is a need for more farmers. And I like to think of our values as slow money values. And I was looking at the slow money values just the other day, and there's a quote from Paul Newman in Slow Money Value number 6 that says, "I just happen to think that in this life we need to be a little like the farmer who puts back into the soil what he takes out." So anyway, we're all here about the pitch and the ask. And so my ask is for a hay grove high tunnel. And so I bet you're kind of asking, after you see that picture, and I'll back up, take a look at it. It's a giant high tunnel. So what the heck's a hay grove? Because that's what I'm asking for. And a hay grove is basically a multi-day high tunnel. Our hay grove would cover over an acre of ground, which, to put that in perspective, that's about a football field underneath plastic. So some of the advantages to that are being able to manipulate the growing environment, keeping rain, hail, wind, and water condensation off of the plants. Being able to extend the seasons, the winter and early spring months, and then increasing per plant productivity by doing intensive growing within that ground. So basically, you're maximizing the quality of the product and really efficiently using the land. So just as an example of what this expansion is going to look like. So these are our 2 tunnels. They're fantastic. 2 20 by 96 foot high tunnels that we built back in 2010 and 2011. 3,840 square feet of growing area. This new expansion is going to take us to almost 45,000 square feet of growing area. And that's a cropped-in image. It's not built yet, so don't get too excited. But, that's kind of what the opportunity is. And you know, for us, our real opportunity is season extension. So being able to diversify our crop systems into the late fall, winter, and early spring months. Right now, we cut off about December 1st, and we don't start up until about April 1st. And so there's, what, 5 months of the year where we aren't selling any product. This high tunnel is going to help alleviate that. Another big thing for us is expansion into new markets. We're in talks right now to expand lettuce production into Colorado, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Missouri. And to do that, we need year-round production to compete with the Taylor Farms or Organic Girl and Earthbound Organic lettuce companies. So on top of that, this hay grow, and I'll back up just so you guys can see that cool image again, is going to require an entire new full-time employee. So year-round full-time employment for one new individual in this community, working inside that tunnel, managing that tunnel, and creating opportunity within that tunnel for our farm. And then an increase in regional food supply. So with that, I thank you all for coming out tonight. And if you have any questions, I believe I'm in that back corner. So thanks again, guys.